Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the DAX today? Now, the very interesting development for the weekly candle, although it was quite a frustrating week because we pretty much gained no traction to the downside or the upside, although the tail to the downside is longer. But I think for me, the fact is that we closed right on the 20 moving average of the weekly. So the previous week we had this engulfing. We failed to get, well, we were failing to get through the 20 moving average, but then we managed to close pretty much on the 20. Now, in saying that, you can see there are tails here. You see all these tails, how price is interacting with this level. So this is a pretty strong level. Okay, and if this level holds and we move the downside, then I would start looking at this bigger head and shoulders on the weekly. But for now, I am still of the opinion that this was a 61.8 retracement, and we're now moving to the upside. Okay, so that's kind of my longer term view. And the second part of this is really okay. There's another pretty much a wedge on the weekly that we're looking at. So let's just get down to levels that we can look at, and we can tidy that up. You can see that's a pretty strong level to the downside, and this is a pretty strong level at the same time. Okay, so the 200 moving average on the daily is still an obstacle or a hurdle that we need to get through, but I'm kind of, this is very typical of kind of breakout patterns. So you can see it's up, down, and then up again, and then maybe a little bit down, and then a breakthrough. So it's very typical of a breakout level inside a trend where you have this like consolidation phase and then we move the upside. Okay, so if we fail to get through the 200, obviously, then you can expect another leg lower. But look on the lower time frames, you'll see what I'm looking for. Okay, so first things first, we were in an uptrend above the 20. We had this gap down, and then we came back, tested the 200 moving average, and then basically went sideways. Okay, so a lot of indecision here on Friday. You can see tails to the upside, tails to the downside, no real direction. The critical part, though, is that the 20 moving average has held. Okay, so let's look at what I'm looking at to do today. So firstly, when we look at the hour, you can see we are in an uptrend on the hour. And if you haven't seen my video on trends, I strongly advise you to go watch it. Just search for it. It was put up yesterday. But essentially, we have a 1 hour trend. If I look at the 4 hour, we've pretty much broken through into an uptrend. But we look at the daily, we are debatable whether it's an uptrend or a downtrend. So, time frames are everything when we're talking about trends. So for the sake of intraday trading, we are currently in an uptrend. We're above the 20 moving average. We're in an uptrend. And more importantly is the fact that this consolidation triangle that was playing out on Friday broke through. Okay, so we had a break of this consolidation triangle. Now, if I just have a look at what the DAX is doing right now, 12,550, so pretty much very close to where we are at the moment. Okay, so this being said, on the hour, I am still looking to trade with this trend to the long side. So let's just get down to 30 minutes. It's going to give us a bit of a better picture, and you can see how we were having these deep retracements, then we're consolidating at this level, and the next step for me is come and challenge the previous high here, and you can see we still do have a daily gap up the top. So challenge that high and then close that gap at the top. And I think let's just tidy that downward trend line. Delete that. Well, there's two trend lines. So there's the first one. You can see that was a downward trend line. We broke above, tested the break, and now we're bouncing off it. And I think all I'm going to do is just adjust it slightly. Okay, so this 200 moving average on the 4 hour is the line in the sand we need to get through. And then the next step is really to get above that level. We can get above that level. You see what we have here, a cup and a handle, which would give us a pretty strong move to the upside to start coming challenging some of these inside tails. So let's head down to the 12 minutes, see what I'm looking to do. So you can see the Bollinger Squeeze we had towards the close on Friday, and also a break of that Bollinger. So I'm definitely looking for longs, and I'm going to be looking for longs. It's going to be tough to call a level right now until the open has happened, and probably wait until 9 o'clock at least, because I suspect what will happen is we may gap up slightly, then move to the downside, and more than likely come and test this level here. So if we come back to test this underside here, which is going to be 12.525, call it 12.530, I think, be safe. That would be the area for me to look for longs. Okay, obviously that may not happen, and this level over here, you can see that was the previous consolidation. This may be the area that we come back to, which is 12.540. So regardless, between 12.540 and 12.530, basically a 10-point zone, this is the area that I'm looking for longs. Okay, now I'm looking for this upward trend to continue. Now you can see when we look at this on the 12 minutes, it's very hard to define. The trend is slightly up, but it's very hard to define that this is a trend. Whereas if you're trading on the 1 hour, you would be long and not really too stressed about these deep pullbacks. But at this stage, this to me is looking like a move to the upside. Okay, so that's kind of my play today, is we're looking for the longs, and I think let's just have a final look. Let's just tidy this up. Let's just have a look at the closing range breakouts for Friday. So on the DAX, we're looking for the 4:30 to 5:30 time frame. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's part 10 and 11, which is this one and that one. Let's get the Fibonacci. So, okay. So we gapped up straight up into target 2, target 3, came back, tested 32.8, which is basically close the gap, and then we went back to target 2 kind of thing. So the gap up was pretty much the trade done and dusted. So I suppose it would have been rather difficult to do that. For today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. So it's 10 and 11. So for today, we are looking at there and no, there. Yeah, 10 and 11. So that's the area we're looking at, and you can see how the breakout target lines up with the previous high. Target 2 does pretty much targeting these tails here, and target 3 will probably line up with the high that we're looking for. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so your closing range breakout may give you some indication of where we're going as well. But for me, it's long today, and looking for either a pullback to get in, or alternatively, we'll just hop in because your stop loss at the worst point is going to be 40 pips. So even a 50 pip stop loss for me is fine. I'm prepared to risk that. Okay, so this to me is definitely on the up, and I think the key element here is whether we get through this level here of call it 12,600. Okay, that would be the daily 200 moving average plus quite a heavy level to left. If we do get through this and break above here, you can expect a fairly violent move to the upside, and this cup and handle will play out. Okay, and cup and handle target is a good 500 points. Okay, anyway guys, I hope that helps, and stay safe, keep your stops tight, and enjoy the day. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Cheers, man.